Hi guys, welcome back. So right now, I just got in my car. It is 94 degrees. Can you believe that? Look at this. It has been so hot these last few days here in Colorado. And yeah, it's just been something to deal with for sure. Now, I recently moved to Colorado a few months ago, and this heat is very different than what I'm used to out in Illinois. The only positive thing I'll say is that at least we don't have humidity here. I feel like Illinois is just very humid, and the heat here is relatively dry, so I guess that's a bonus, but it's still hot, and I just don't like the hot weather. Even though it is scorching hot outside, I am really craving a nice broth soup type of meal tonight. So I'm going to head out and actually get some ingredients to make Vietnamese pho. If you know me, you know that I absolutely love Vietnamese pho. I've tried a few different types of pho, but the one that I really like the best is the pho ga, which is the chicken. It is absolutely so good. I did a little bit of research because I don't know many of the shops here in the area, so I was able to find two different grocery stores that are Asian markets. So we're about to head over there, and I hope to find almost all the items because I don't think there's a single item on my list that I shouldn't be able to find there. But if not, I don't mind going into multiple stores, so let's go. Alright guys, I just parked to GW supermarket, and there's actually a lot of little places nearby. They have like a travel agency, this store, they have like a mini mart, and they also have like a hot pot down the way. There's also like this ginormous Costco that's just in the middle of nowhere. It's not even busy around here, at least not yet. It is a Thursday afternoon, so maybe people just aren't off work just yet. The other store that I was actually looking to come into and shop around is actually across the way, so it ended up working out perfectly fine since both stores are nearby. So we're about to head into the GW supermarket, and hopefully I'm able to get everything in one purchase and I don't have to go to the other store. But if we have to, then no big deal, and if I have to go to another store, then no big deal. I'm gonna eat my pho regardless. I've been able to find a lot, but I still need a lot of spices, onion, rock sugar, chicken bouillon that's like specific to the pho that we're making, and bean sprouts. Those are the only things I'm missing, and now I'm on a mission because it's only like 5 things that I need, so I need to find them here. I just don't want to go to the other store, but if I have to, I will. This store has so much stuff. They have like so many different soy sauces, rice vinegars. I didn't even know that was a thing. Red pepper oil, sesame oil. Wow. More sesame oil, chili oil. So far, I've been able to find a lot of the stuff that I need on my list. Right now, I think I just need spices. They usually come in like a big bag all together. It's like cloves, fennel, star anise, and like a few other spices that are traditionally in pho. I need to find that. I also couldn't find onions here. I found like the majority of the produce but onions, which was weird, so maybe they're just in a different place. I also need rock sugar, chicken bouillon, and bean sprouts. I feel like I walked by all the produce and all the things that are in fridges, so I'm surprised I didn't see the bean sprouts, but I mean, it is a big store, so I'll probably find it eventually. There's two different ones. Chicken flavored fuzz, chicken flavored sauce. I guess this is the one that's specific for pho, so I think it's... This one says it's more specific to pho, so I think this is the one I need. So I was able to find every single thing that I needed. The only thing that I was not able to find, I've been trying to look for a really big stock pot, but I haven't had any luck. But I was able to get everything else that I needed. I got the noodles, the soup, the different spices, the different vegetables that come in pho. So right now, I think I'm just gonna put these in the car and then head off. This is what the strip mall looks like. It has a little travel agency. They have little other shops. That's the store. And then the hot pot is like all the way like over here. But that's what it looks like on the outside. While I was looking around, I noticed that there was a Dutch Bros like right behind me. So that's where I'm gonna go next right now. All right, gang, I'm back in the car. I'm really pleased that I was able to find every single thing on the item. It took a little bit of searching. There were just two things that I could not find, and I felt like such an idiot when I asked. I went up to this poor lady and said, "Hey, where are the onions?" And she brought me back to where I had been looking for like 10 minutes, and they were like placed underneath the actual shelves. So this entire time I was looking up at the shelves and looking to see what was on the top, but I didn't realize that there were spots underneath it, and that's where all the onions were, all the different like yellow, white, purple onions. Ugh, I felt so dumb because I had walked by there so many times, and I'm like, that's awesome, great. And then I couldn't find bean sprouts, and of course they were in like the one section of the entire store that I did not bother to look in. So, you know, I was able to get that, and that was it. After I get my coffee, I'm probably gonna head out to like Walmart or something and see if I can find a stock pot. I don't have a stock pot big enough to make like a decent amount of pho, and I am very like, I'm over the top when it comes to making food that's like in a broth. So if it's pho, pozole, what else have I made? Like caldo de res, caldo de camarón, all that stuff. I like to make it in excessive amounts because I know that's something that I absolutely love, and I know I'm gonna eat it every single time. So I want to at least have pho for maybe today, like today for dinner, and then maybe again for lunch, and then maybe for dinner, because I really love pho. So I'm gonna end up probably going to like a Walmart to see if they have like a decent sized stock pot. I don't have one that's big enough. I think the smallest one would like maybe feed like 3-4 bowls worth, and I don't know, I really just want a big one just so I can have, especially during holiday season when, you know, us Mexicans, we get together, make pozole, and you know, all the different like the ponches and shit and everything that we do. So I really want to just have one just to have it for times like these. So that's going to be what's next on my list, but I will see you guys when I get to Walmart. Alright guys, I just got to Walmart and I'm about to go inside and see if there are any stock pots available. I checked online and it said that they should have like an 8 quart, a 12 quart, and a 16 quart. I think the 16 is going to be a little too big, so I think I'm just going to stick with the 12 quart, but I really don't know which one's going to work. I think I'm more of a visual person. I can't picture what 12 quarts look like until it's like in front of me. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go in there, see if I find something, and I should be home soon, and we'll take it from there. Alright guys, I am home right now and I just took everything out of the bag. So right now I'm gonna get started with some of the aromatics. So I'm gonna put some onion, ginger, and daikon. I'm gonna dice them up a little bit, put them on a tray, stick them in the oven, and then leave them for 15 to 20 minutes while they get nice and roasted. And then while that's going, I'm also gonna get started on the spices, just toasting them up a little bit. I think it's only like 2 or 3 minutes that they should be toasted until they're nice and fragrant. And then from there, I'll start getting started on putting everything in the pot, and then of course getting to the chicken and making sure it's cooking. I'm also going to be roasting this daikon. I have no idea how to use this, but I just looked up and I guess you're supposed to kind of cut the ends off and peel it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and maybe kind of chop them up into like cubes, or I don't know, I'll figure it out. But this, and then I'm going to get the ginger too. This is the baking sheet I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to start transferring some of these onions over so I can have space for the daikon, and I'll be right back. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. So now I think I'm just gonna like probably chop them in half and chop them down a little smaller than this. Let's go down the middle here. Okay, I think these type of slices are kind of what I'm looking for. Not too big, not too small, so I think this should work. I've never actually worked with daikons. Their smell kind of reminds me of onions. It has like a very oniony kind of smell, and I've never cooked with daikon. I've made pho before, but I've never used this at all. So I'm kind of excited to see if this kind of changes the flavor or if I can tell a big difference, but I'm excited. So we're gonna add this, and I just need the ginger left. All right, I think I'm just gonna end up using one piece of ginger, so we'll see. Kind of cut them up kind of diagonally a little bit. I'm probably gonna end up doing one more just so it's a little bit more balanced, but yeah. Alright, so I was able to cut a few more pieces of ginger, and I think this should be good, so I'm just gonna put this on the pan and then get ready to roast them. Alright, this is what I have so far. I have the onions, the daikon, and the ginger, and I set my oven to 400 degrees, and I'm just gonna put these back in there for 15 to 20 minutes, and from now until then, I'm going to be toasting up these spices. So right now I have multiple different spices that I'm going to be using for this particular pho. Usually I get these kind of pre-packaged in a big package on its own, and it has a little bit of all these spices, but I was not able to find it, and I just really didn't want to kind of go anywhere else to try and look for them. The first thing I'm going to add are these fennel seeds. I opened the bag kind of messed up, but yeah, just a little bit of fennel seeds first. Next, I'm going to be throwing in some whole coriander seeds. Next, I'm going to be throwing in some dried cloves. Next, I'm going to go in with some star anise. And some dried cinnamon sticks. And then lastly, we're gonna go in with these. I believe these are called black cardamoms, and they go under this name too. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Amamam. But I'm just gonna throw in a few of these in there too. I'm not sure how many to put in there, so I'm just gonna go with 5 because I feel like maybe that's a good balance. Now that everything's in the pan, I'm just gonna turn it up a little bit and then just start toasting these and moving these around until they get nice and fragrant, which wouldn't take long. I think usually it happens within like 2-3 minutes, so it's relatively quickly, so yeah. Alright, so right now I have a little bit of water boiling, so I'm just gonna throw in the chicken that I have and let that come to a boil, and then the impurities should start making their way up. Alright, chicken's in there, so now we're just going to wait for it to boil, and then we're going to see all the gunk come to the top, and then after that we're just going to strain it, and then once it's strained we're going to add the water back in there, add the spices and the aromatics that we roasted in the oven. We got a boil now. You can see all the gunk rising to the top, so now that it's boiling, I'm just going to take all the chicken out and then rinse out the pot, wash it up, and then put everything back in there, throw more water in there, throw the aromatics in there, and our vegetables. Alright, so I just dumped all the water that I had in there out, and as you can see it's perfectly clean. So now I'm going to put the chicken back in there, and I did place the heat on high, so we should be able to just dump these in there and it should come to a boil relatively quickly. Alright, so that takes care of our chicken, and let me just get the other things that I need to put in there. I think right now all that's left is the daikon, onions, and the ginger. So these are the onions and the daikon that I put in to roast in the oven. I did take out the ginger because I didn't want it to get too roasted and too dark, but now I'm just going to add these into the pot with the chicken. Just going to add 1, 2, I'm also going to be adding a little bit of this Faga chicken soup base that I got in the store. Kind of looks like this. It's kind of like powdery but kind of pasty at the same time. It's kind of like sand, the texture, but I'm just going to put some of this in there as well. So this is a large pot, so I'm just going to be putting this much in the whole thing. The good thing is, if it's still lacking in flavor, we can always go back. But for now, I'm just going to leave it with this much for the whole pot. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt to the pot. Again, just a little bit, and if we need more down the line, we can always add some. And then lastly, I'm just going to go in with the rock sugar. So this is about how much I'm going to drop in there. Again, if you need to add more, you can always do that in the end. But for this, I'm just going to start off with this amount. Alright, and now that we have everything in there, we're just going to wait for it to come to a boil. Let it boil for like 3 or so minutes. And then from there, we can just continue taking the scum that's rising on the top. You can see it's starting to form a little bit. So we're just going to wait until this comes to a boil, and then from there, we'll just clean it up a little bit. Alright, so while the stock is cooking, I'm just going to go in and start chopping up some of the veggies for the garnish. So I'm going to take care of the green onions and the cilantro and cutting up some limes as well. Now I'm just going to chop up some cilantro. All right, now this is coming to a boil, so I'm just gonna let it boil for like another 3 to 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna take the chicken out so it can stop cooking, and then we're gonna add the spices in there. All right, guys, I ran into my first obstacle. So because I had to buy every single spice separately, I wasn't able to buy a little pouch, like a little spice pouch that comes with the packaging if this were all to come together. So I think I'm gonna have to improvise. So I think what I'm going to do is have a mesh sieve over the pots and put the spices in the sieve. That way they're still like infusing into the broth, but that way they're not just loose. I really don't want to let them loose because I feel like that's just gonna take even more time to actually clean up. So for now, I'm just gonna have to do that and hope it works, but I mean, we'll see. So this is what I came up with. I basically put all the spices in this mesh sieve, and hopefully it'll stay there and infuse those flavors. Hopefully it works. If not, then you know, it is what it is, but this is the only thing I could come up with. So we're gonna leave this to simmer for a few minutes, somewhere around 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm gonna check back periodically to see how it's going. All right, these are the noodles that I'm going to be using for this pho. You're just gonna let them sit in the water for like 10 seconds, and then you're gonna take them out right away and run them under cold water so they don't get stuck to each other. But it's a very fast process. Keep up. Check this out. This is what it looks like. It's literally gonna disintegrate when it gets in there. Ready, set, go. Chat, have you guys been counting?